What's up, y'all? This is Bodacious, the voice of reason. How y'all doing tonight? Had some good conversations this weekend with some of the brothers. Melly, ball game, a few things went on Clubhouse. I try to get around to learn and see what we could do to make a lot of changes for the better. Um, I don't want to get into certain people's mischief and stuff like that. All I'm saying is that a lot of these people have to kind of understand what they're doing. And I think they're blinded by finance or success or what they call fame or whatever, clout chasing. And a lot of people, they're making money with it. They're getting like six figures sometime, maybe more than that, seven. And that's fine. But I think, in my opinion, when you start rolling uh, like a lifestyle into a death style and you bring this gang culture into anything, there's going to be chaos. It's going to be confusion and chaos. So to all the people out there that look at these videos and look at my videos or whatever, and let me take a break here, like and subscribe. I don't know why we gotta say it, but do it anyway. That's where we get our recognition and whatever. I'm on here too, but I won't clout chase. I'll try not to. Maybe I may do something that look like clout chase, but in my heart, I've always did a lot of stuff for myself. I didn't need nobody to solidify who I was or how I rolled or what I did. And I took the negative out and put a positive in. So when I follow anybody, it's more uh, conducive to our growth, to proliferate our unity and become as a unit and stop a lot of the senseless mess out. Because it's always going to be things. It's always going to be people doing idiotic. You got people with brain damage. You got people that's mentally ill. You got people that are sick. We just living in a time where uh, you got this virus. They've given us. You could take your mask off now, but no, you can't. Nobody's seen Dr. Fauci. I mean, it's just the war started. It's just about Ukraine and Russia. So it's kind of like they wagging the dog. You just fend for yourself. So everybody be careful out there, and just I'm just saying we as a group have to get it to where we can disagree without doing harm to each other. I listen to a lot of people that get to the point to where they're putting certain things up to harm people or to tarnish their reputation. And we all are in this system of injustice, especially non-white people. We're in a system that we're just basically reacting to a system to survive. I mean, it's dog eat dog. And for us to keep at each other is basically sickening to the point to where um, you don't even know how to respond to some of this stuff because it's so pitiful, to say the least. So I do these videos to kind of put some content out there to explain some of our behavior that recognize, really like before I speak, I like to try to think at least so the right word to come out. It'll fit the narrative I'm trying to produce. So a lot of us, we reactive, we're emotional, and we just jump out there. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll pull up. I guess that's what new violent culture code is. I'll pull up. You gonna pull up where? And then cats are, be careful because the cats that's pulling up is watching these videos and uh, looking at where you at and like, oh, I know where that's at. They right there right now. Let's go murk these fools. And it's sad. So once we have to work on ourselves, we surely have to get a knowledge of our own self and our behavior. And if it's substance that you're using, you want to get help. If it's depression, mental illness, you want to get help because we've been through a lot of trauma, especially as black people in this country. We've been through a lot of trauma, and a lot of us are strong and say we can handle it, but some of us ain't. Some of us suicidal. Some of us can't take it. Gas is going up. Everything going up with your paycheck. It's a bad time to be squandering money off, throwing it, make it rain in the club. Even if you got millions, you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense to squander it off when you can be producing something or some kind of institution to get us in a form of re-education and redirect our culture to where some of the codes that we use don't work. They may have worked in the 60s, they may have worked in the 70s, but they're not working now. And they got us set to a point to where we look like we're behind, especially economically, maybe 200 years, because we make money, we make trillions of dollars a year, at least a couple, but we put it all back into the system of injustice and keep the system rolling. And all we have to do is stop doing and look at us and say, okay, how can I help my brother out? You know, Melly said it perfect. The lone wolf will freeze to death and starve to death by itself. But a pack of wolves will get through the winter and survive. So we have to get that kind of collective. And I know if wild animals can do it, I'm quite sure we a lot more intelligent than wild animals, or are we? You know, are we? Are we that naive to come together and say, hey, look, that's my brother over there. I got to go by the code of solidarity because they made blackness a stigma in this country to where it's less than. So the least I can do is put up and say, hey, that's a brother over there. And I know all skin color don't make us brothers. But at the same time, if I can recognize the majority and say, hey, I don't need to do no harm to you, bro. I disagree, but that's the end of it. You know, now I'm not saying don't protect yourself. Protect yourself by any means necessary. You and your family and all that. But at the same time, 9 times out of 10, I know the nature of man, that they have some good in them. And they don't want the violent thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just peer pressure, culture, mental illness, and on and on. So I want to bring to people's awareness and that um, bringing this gang culture into the music industry uh, is a no-win situation because from me, my experience with gangs, especially Compton. Now, I can speak on Compton and some LA. You know, I hung out with a lot of LA homies, you know, especially in the pen and all that. You know, we got tight, you know, real cool because we didn't set trip. Compton didn't set trip. You know, and most Crips don't set trip in jail because they got the ops, the MMs and the Aryan Brotherhood, skinheads, and the police. So we have to kind of unite. And it's amazing how we unite in there and then get out here and just do so much harm to each other. But to say that, to say the least, is that we know that we can get along if we push that envelope. You know, it's not, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that you got to sing kumbaya and hang out, nothing like that. But just give everybody that respect as a man and a woman to where you do no harm because we suffer from 400 and 500 plus years, 400 plus years of abuse, you know, and we have to let people know we got to control that narrative. You know, when this brother get caught for stealing something, what you stealing for? He like, I'm responding, man. I'm just, you know, this brother was, you know, we know he did wrong, and we're not saying he shouldn't be punished, but at the same time, look what he had to go through just to survive this system. You know, that brother, you know, he ain't no different, you know, because when white folks do it, oh, he was good in school. He, you know, was abused as a child, misused in every way. So I gave him an AR and let him go down there and kill some people. And he's a nice kid. And he walks. So we support each other by like, man, we got a legitimate excuse. We've been oppressed in every kind of ism you can think of for centuries. So I see why he went out and took something, because he's hungry, or because we're disenfranchised, because you redlined, because you abused us and misused us in every conceivable way, hung us like Christmas ornaments. You're just now passing a law in 2022 that hanging is a hate crime. Really? You still haven't passed the George Floyd Police Accountability Act. You still haven't passed so many laws of reparations and repairing the people. So we know where you stand. We know where all of them stand in the system of injustice. Because the same thing keep going over year and year and year. It don't matter who in the White House. The supremacy and power structure stayed the same. I've been here with Democrats. I've been here with Republicans. We need our own political party. We need to be men enough and man enough to say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're not going to play in your NFL, your NBA. We're not going to do this. We demand reparations. We want land and to where we don't have to pay taxes. We don't have to, what I'm saying, conform to police brutality. We want our own police. What I'm saying? We want our own casinos like the Native Americans. We want our own sovereignty. Because see, what we mess up as, we always preach we want equality. We want to be equal. And I'm like, equal to what? Pagan heathen? Why would we want to be equal to that? Look how much harm they do to people. But we never want to protest and be free. We never come up with movements to be free. We're so intertwined in this country that we actually think we're American and get treated like second-class citizens, third-class citizens. So in order to combat that, we need to come together as a unit, as many as we can, and demand what we need. Because then they'll say, well, they'll kill us. Well, they're killing us anyway. Let them kill us all. And they won't, because we make too much money for them. We're too much of an asset to this country. We built the country. But we should get our just due. And we're not going to get it voting in politicians that are supremacists. And you can't get away. I look at Joe Biden, I'm still trying to wait for him to do something for us. He said, if you vote for me, or if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So he got the black vote. And is still talking about the infrastructure bill and this and that. He ain't talked about reparations or laws that'll keep the police accountable for killing us. They still killing us. They still shooting blacks unarmed or with a cigarette lighter or a phone or whatever. So if you can't see this, then maybe you just think this is normal and how it's supposed to be. But I'm here to share something with you. We're in a system to where America eats its children. America put all the dope in the hood, all the guns in the hood. We don't own Smith & Wesson. We don't own no poppy fields or cocaine plants, coca plants. Where it come from? And why do it hit us? Because they keep us confused and off balance. So they can just rule over everything, all activities of our lives. And then we'll sit there and pray to somebody that don't exist, that so far we still in the same situation. So when I pray to the Creator, I'm gonna pray to we all get some help from somewhere, because evidently that white picture on the wall you've been praying to ain't working. Which according to scripture, you ain't supposed to prostrate and pray to no kind of image. But every time we go into a church building, you have a cross, a picture of Jesus, and the Bible says exactly the opposite. So something is wrong with that. That's why they want you to think if you get $10,000, $1 million, that you've been blessed. No, because that's a curse. There's been plenty of people with money that it just ruined them. We'll start with the Suge Knights, the Whitney Houston, the Michael Jacksons. I mean, you just go R. Kelly. You just go on, and you do a survey, Prince, and all these dudes that get on these opioids, or they give them opioids or whatever, and they don't wake up no more. So the money ain't the answer. Money can basically destroy you if you don't have a balance or control. So we get all the money in the world, and what we do, we brag about money that we trying to impress people that got billions. They got the money. Every time you look at a picture, it's their picture on the money. Slave masters. And we chase it, we get up and chase it, and have to, because don't get me wrong, you have to have it to survive. It's a tool. But we should be using it to uplift each other and make sure everybody, see, a boss make bosses. Microsoft and Bill Gates made several billion and millionaires. They ain't sitting around bossing with chains on talking about I'm a boss. and talk about, oh, you ain't got nothing. Look at this Benz I got. Look at that little old car you got. You just got a little Benz or a little business, and we degrade each other. We got to stop. We got to stop. We got to stop. We have to stop. So this is Bodacious, the voice of reason. Like and subscribe. I'll be doing other things. The podcast is coming out soon. Undeniable. Uh, we look forward to putting content out there to change. A lot of things is going on, especially in the community. I got to start with Compton because that's where I'm from. I was raised in Compton. I can't erase that. I am what I am. I gang banged. I did that. I was a Crip for many years, but I've been debriefed to myself and to my homies that I don't gang bang no more. I don't do harm to my own people, And if I can change, anybody can. Y'all stay up. We got to move forward. Be blessed. I'm out.